lovers, that's 20 goons. And ice cream whip, triple school. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna play me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pull out one foot and set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bed until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we gon' hide. I can never switch, not a thing.
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. As we take a peek at Sam Darnold, the former USC Trojan and 3rd pick in the 2018 draft.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Big Geno Atkins there to bring him down. On 2nd down, Cook. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. The open man is Smith. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Give to Cook out of the gun. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
And that's caught by Smith. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 27-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Switch. Yeah, ready.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete.
Ineligible receiver.
Now let's see who this is on.
Offense.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there.
Quit talking about it and bring it. Tight end right.
Cook following the penalty. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard. 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. 8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Darnold from the gun. It's caught. Smith. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Traquan Smith, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
It becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Ready, 280. 54 miles. Watch safety,
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Now a throw left sideline here is complete. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 23 yards, the final tally. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10, right at the 40. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Ryan. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
You have to like the way that they've played in the first month. They have to be very proud being a top 10 unit against the pass. Their goal, though, in this one, see if they can improve that ranking.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety.
And it's a fumble. And this belongs to the Vikings.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
So following the fumble recovery, here's Darnold. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 2nd down coming up. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Cook able to escape. And now nothing but green ahead of him. 30. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. A big play there out of Cook. 76 yards. So a big play there running right. The DN couldn't get out. They couldn't stop him. It was the offense setting the edge and getting the big game.
Yeah, essentially when you're the defensive end, when they talk about setting the edge so the offense has to bounce it one way or the other, instead that edge was actually rounded off by the offense and continued deep down the field.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on second and goal here.
He's checking. 80 weapon.
Now it's Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Here's Darnold. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Traquan Smith with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack. Yeah,
right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. And no doubt he's come out of the gate strong. Only in week 3, and you see the numbers thus far.
And we always talk about identity, setting a tone, you know, getting the groundwork laid for the season or for a game. And that's what they've done with the running game so far. It reminds me of when I first went to the University of Tennessee. And believe it or not, I was a quarterback for a day and a half. And the first practice session, the first play we ran was 28 pitch, which is a toss sweep. And I remember the offense coordinator saying, that's our identity, that's our bread and butter, that's the basis of our offense. We got to get that down right here, right now. I think we're seeing some of that in this running game here.
So did you not get that down, and that's why you were moved to the defense, or what?
I don't know for that reason, but I do know I saw a couple of guys throw, and immediately they were saying, you know, you need to learn how to backpedal.
Hey, you turn into a heck of a DB, though, partner. Back to throw, Darnold. And Diggs has it. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. A toss to Cook. .154 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Coming right, this is Cook on the toss play. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They'll go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
Complete. It's Johnson. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd down, Ryan. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. And Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. This is fielded at the 27. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Joe Mixon, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
3rd and long, it's Ryan. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A gain of 22.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning the first.
Mixon with a first down carry. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Ryan, he completes it to Boyd. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 45-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver, but it's going to be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Stop your whining.
Now they run with Mixon. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Now they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Ryan, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Avery Williamson there to make the stop. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. And they'll try the air now with Darnold. Complete. Smith has it. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 37. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. From the 35 on second down, Darnold. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Third and long, it's Darnold. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Markel Lee leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. On the delay, it's Mixon. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Returnable here from the 38. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good. But maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right.
They run again on 1st down, Cook. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
It's easy work, and it's
Casey Hayward makes the tackle.
Brings up 2nd and 10. At the 29-yard line.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. Darnold. And this one complete to Smith. It'll be a pickup of 16, but they'll remain short of the marker, and it's 4th down. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th. Darnold now to throw. Being chased out left. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Sack there by Avery Williamson, the linebacker. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd and 12, Ryan into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And some room to maneuver. And he's taken down inside the 30. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Avery Williamson.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Now it's Ryan. It got his man complete. They'll get 34 yards there. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Ryan, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Anthony Barr able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. But they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead. And they
Mixon hit, and all the ball is out. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They're going on 4th down. It's Ryan. He gets this one to Boyd. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Tyler Boyd, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bengals are able to cut into this lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And the Vikings hands team able to recover, and that should just about do it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
Mike's from the side.
I got him.
Double tight, double tight. Forward tight.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Going deep for Diggs. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Mike's 59. Mike's 59. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Instead of running, Darnold's going to throw this thing. Going deep for Diggs. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half.